As the old empires struggled to assert themselves, the entire world was caught in an inevitable cataclysm. The war covered the globe. Old empires and new worlds. Old ways and new ideas. All of mankind fought. 100 big ideas marched off into the war to end all wars. It was consuming us all, and there was no end in sight.
Hello and welcome to Kitty's Game Corner. This is the second try for my web camera, so I'm a little bit nervous, so bear with me. Yeah, let's begin. For the past several days, I've been fighting my way through trenches to give you like a feel and a look of the new upcoming game, Battlefield 1. Yay! Battlefield 1 will feature a story mode with 4 different stories and of course a huge 64-man multiplayer maps. Or woman. There will be several multiplayer modes like Rush and Dominion, and now there's even a mode called War Pigeon. You know, the flying ones? Yes, I'm not kidding. It's supposedly a mode where you have to intercept the War Pigeon I'm sorry, and then you'll score points. I tried starting it up, but it was not possible to find any servers with this mode running, so I'll just have to wait and see how it works when the game is released. Before I talk more about multiplayer, I would like to go over the single player story mode. I ended up using several hours of my time here, both because it was a very cool story I wanted to soak in, but also because of game crashes. Each story campaign is different, and you take on the role of a particular person in that story. So progression from previous stories does not carry over, but it's not needed to either. In one of the stories I played, I was a tank operator who was advancing on German positions in 1918. My job was to protect the troops and kill off artillery and other tanks. It was a well-written story, and when I started playing, I just didn't want to stop. The music in the story, the effects, they just compel each other, and it gives you a really nice feeling when you play the story. One of the things I have always liked in Battlefield 4 was that you could destroy some buildings and in that way change the map. In Battlefield 1, they've taken the step even further. I spent several minutes just leveling a town to dust and driving my tank into buildings, watching everything just fall apart. It was loads of fun. In this story, I also got a glimpse of the War Pigeons, and I have to say, it was interesting. I think DICE has made a really good cinematic play, and I feel like there's a good mix of cinematics and gameplay. The graphics in this game is strong, and having a good computer is key. The game ran best on my computer on medium settings, and the reason why the recording is a little bit blurry sometimes is because my CPU could just not handle recording and showing high quality game. I wouldn't say it's poorly optimized or anything, I just think the game needs to handle so many things. My computer is an older i5 and does have 3 years use in it, so getting the performance I got was probably to be expected. However, some people with newer rigs have reported an FPS drop from the beta to now. I wish I could say that I played the entire story without frustration and problems, because I did not. Several times my game just froze on me, and the result in having to redo entire parts of the story since the last checkpoint was kind of annoying. But it was not really a big issue since it's fun blasting troops out of the sky, but if I had crashed too many times, I would have gotten really frustrated. An example of this is I was tagging a town looking for something as an objective, which was a bit confusing to find for me. Anyway, I just found the last piece, and now fighting was going on. I was doing my best to do the Rambo tank driver, and then after maybe 10 minutes my game just froze and I had to stop it from the task manager. When I came back into the game, I had to do the entire fight scene again, and that was several blown up tanks ago. Another example of this is that you can stealth kill your way through many places of the story. Being stealth is not my issue, it's the alert and awareness system I think is being too lenient on me. I could easily go up and kill somebody with my shovel. Oh my god, you know, that shovel. Anyway, after a kill I would just retreat and make the alerted guy walk closer, and then I would just shovel him again. This was just a rinse and a repeat progress for me. So no alarms were sounded, I just walked around like I was a ninja kitty doing stealth kills with a shovel. What? Oh, anyway, you're supposedly not completely quiet, being stealth, but you're not loud enough either to actually make another soldier alarm on you. A soldier finding a body was also slow to call on others, so I could just run up and kill the guy before anything happened. The first 10 minutes I was feeling really badass pro gamer, but when I realized how easy it was, my great feeling of power kinda diminished a bit. The passing system for the tanks also need more work. I had several encounters where the enemy tanks simply got stuck in the map, either on corners or on hills, so I could just run up and dynamite the beep out of it, you know. The pathing of the soldiers, the way they die, and the entire system is very well done. And DICE might not have wanted to make them too in intelligence, but I just wish they would be better to take cover and not just run in front of my tank. However, if they did this, I would not be able to gun them down so easily, which is kind of part of the fun. I sure did feel powerful in that tank, but not like Superwoman powerful. Now, even though Battlefield 1 is not without bugs, I have to say, so far it's running way better than Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4 did on launch. What I'm waiting to see is how the servers will handle the load when it's officially released. So, multiplayer. The core play in multiplayer is the same as all the Battlefield titles. You are a soldier and you have different roles you can pick. There's assault, medic, support, and scout. If you spawn in a plane, tank, or something other, you will get different set of equipment. This is a new feature in Battlefield 1. So the setting is of course also new, and is now old school World War I setting. The maps are set at different locations in that time period with a mix of horses and tanks. I still feel the horse is a bit OP, which was also the case in the beta. As in Battlefield 4, each map has a dynamic event that triggers, and there are also a weather system in the game. Sometimes it can be foggy, other times not. In one map there is a big blimp with a massive gun that the losing team gets control of, and in another map you can get control of a train. These things vary from map to map, and so far I did only see like heavy fog and wind, but I'm kind of expecting there to be heavy rain as well. Battlefield 1 features several multiplayer modes: Conquest, Dominion, Rush, Operations, Team Deathmatch, and War Pigeons. Each mode is different but basically the same. The goal is to get more points in the game than the opposing team. I wanted to try out War Pigeon mode, but as I said earlier, there were no players on any servers. I did try the other modes and they play much like what we're used to in Battlefield 4. Conquest is how we know it. Fight to get control of key locations. The more locations you have, the more points you get. Dominion is kind of like Conquest, is just in a smaller place and is more infantry based. Rush is a mode where you as a defender can call in artillery and the attacker needs to destroy these telegraph stations. Operation seems very interesting. The attacker must hold territory and then push the front line forward while the defenders are trying to hold the line. Should the defenders fail to hold their ground on a map, the operation doesn't stop. They will fall back and regroup on a different map, while the attackers will continue to push. This seems pretty interesting. War Pigeon mode is played as Find the Pigeon mode. You have to locate the pigeon before the enemy and carry it to a safe location out in the open. There you prepare a message and send it off, and calling artillery for support. Once a message is successfully sent, an artillery barrage will strike the enemy. Sounds pretty simple enough. One of the things that's been changed in the game is the melee kill system. In Battlefield 4, you would always perform a kill, and if it was in front, the target could press a button and do a counter kill. Now it's based on what weapon you are using and luck. Different weapons have different speed and chance to perform an instant kill. Also, their base damage varies from weapon to weapon. So far the system seems very well, but that waits to be seen when more players join the fight. Speaking of weapons, one of the things I really like about Battlefield 1 is that the weapons are not all that crazy advanced. It's old school all the way, and using old weapons really does give you a good feeling of intense combat, and only having 6 bullets in your rifle forces you to be mindful and not just shoot all around. Of course, there are different weapons you can unlock with different magazines. In Battlefield 1, DICE has also introduced special weapons you can pick up, like the flamethrower or the anti-tank sniper rifle. There's also a heavily armored assault rifle guy. He probably has a different name, but I kinda named him Assault Rifle Guy. You probably remember battle packs from Battlefield 4, and you probably remember the annoyance of having weapons you did not have because you did not get the right battle packs. Well, that's all been changed. Battle packs are no longer used to give you weapons, it's only visual style and XP boosters. Also, they added a puzzle item, and gathering all 5 of those will give you a special visual one for one of your weapons. When doing the recording for this review, it was a special visual for a club and a knife that you could gather for. DICE have also removed the option to spend real money on battle packs, so the only way currently to get them is by playing the game and staying until the match is over. The items in the battle packs are changed, so saving up for when there is a new release is something you can do. Also, there are different types of battle packs that has different costs. There are 3 different battle packs: Ordinary, Enhanced and Superior. So far the multiplayer have run very smooth. I have had 2 times where the game was stuck on an infinite load screen, and I've had to crash the game myself. But other than that, I've not have any bugs. I've mostly encountered some funny moments of jumping out of a window, hitting something and getting thrown 20 meters away and things. All in all, my experience in Battlefield 1 has been mostly pleasant and enjoyable. You should buy this game if you're a fan of first-person shooter that is based in a World War I setting. Another thing to notice is for this title to be worth the coins spent, you should probably love multiplayer. Not because single player is not good, but the single player campaign seems to be a maximum of 10 hours of gameplay. Also be sure to check the minimum requirements for this game because it's pretty heavy on the computer. If you got through this review, I hope you got all your questions answered and you feel that you know everything you should know before making the decision if you should buy or play this game. If you have any games you would like me to look at, feel free to write me in the comments or send me a message. Also, if you want to have a game of Battlefield 1 with me, you are welcome as well. Remember though, I'm based in Europe, so there can be a time zone difference. But I'll probably shoot your ass. Anyway, as always, please give me a subscribe and a like. That would mean a lot to me. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time on Kitty's Game Corner.